Hey everyone, my name is Mike Marcellin and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Juniper Networks. Joining me today are my good friends from Macquarie Telecom. We have Luke Clifton, Group Executive, and David Flanagan, who's the Chief Product Officer. Luke, David, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, Mike. Really good to see you.
Great.
Good to see you again, Mike. Good to be here.
So first things first, Juniper and Macquarie have been working together for some time. Recently, we worked closely on an overhaul and future-proof of Macquarie's network. Maybe you can start by just giving those who don't know an overview of your business. I love the fact that you're the untelco in the ANZ market, and maybe you can describe a little bit about your business and your strategy.
We've been in business in the Australian NZ market now for coming up to 30 years, and we've built a business entirely around customer satisfaction. Now, I know that's a thing that you probably don't hear a lot in the telecommunication space globally. We think we operate in a market where a lot of our competitors underserve and overcharge their customers. So we've built a business around entirely on customer satisfaction, delighting our customers. We've got a NPS score that most recently is hitting plus 74. And we've built a business entirely around doing the opposite to what the traditional telcos would do. David would well know that we start most of our management meetings looking at what our competitors are doing and saying, if we did the opposite to that, A, would our customers like it? And B, can we make money out of it? And that's what we mean being so untelco. So, and Juniper's been a really strong part of that journey for us over the last 25 to 30 years.
Wow, that's certainly an amazing net promoter score for sure. Anyone who follows that metric, that's truly impressive. I want to piggyback a little bit off of something that you said, which is, around creating that great customer experience. And, Juniper's true north is experience first networking. So maybe, this, the other side of the same coin. Tell me how you focus on that great user experience for your customers.
So there's two things that we're always looking for when we're engaging with a customer. The first thing is to have something we call radar on. Always be carefully listening to what the customer is really asking for, spending time to understand and unpack what the customer is trying to achieve, but then not only looking to service that need, but to delight the customer. Looking for those sometimes unknown requirements. So, like if you think about it, trying to anticipate what problems the customer's going to have, trying to put a solution into place that the customer might have not even anticipated, that delights them in terms of the engagement they've got with the telecommunications company. It's very rare in our industry to see people that do that. We've built a whole business based on the back of that type of engagement. So that's the way we think about engaging with our customers.
Well, I think that unique approach is one of the reasons why you were recognized with the Juniper Elevate Award, if I'm not mistaken. But I think you've won a few other awards too. Maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Well, last year, and thanks for mentioning it, Mike, we're really proud of it. Last year, we got recognized with the Global World Communications Award for Customer Service. We went up against 400 entrants from across the globe to win the award that recognized our ability to not only service customers, not only to delight them, but also get their referrals to other customers. It's a vast majority of the business that we win. It's based off the back of customer referrals. Like, do you really recommend Macquarie Telecom to a friend or a colleague? And off the back end of that, last year we were recognised with the World Communications Award globally for our service to customers.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations on that. That's impressive. So maybe David, over to you. So that's the challenge that you've put out into the market, into your company. Talk a little bit about how Juniper's played a part in helping you achieve your objectives.
Juniper's been a really strong core networking partner with Macquarie Telecom since the early 2000s. Our core backbone network has always been a Juniper core. And we've grown and evolved our backbone over the last 20 years. And we got to the stage a couple of years ago where the NBN, which is the national broadband network in Australia, started to reach critical mass. And the NBN gave our customers an access network solution that was multiples of what they had previously. So combined with a growth in subscriber capacity customers choosing more bandwidth, leveraging other SDN solutions for their networking. We saw a need to change our core network and grow that core network substantially. We implemented a 100 times increase on interstate capacity, a 10 times increase on intercapital capacity. And as you know, the core networking part of the business is the product that really underpins every other product in our catalog, whether it's UC or an SD-WAN VPN solution. That's the core backbone of everything we do. Has to be absolutely reliable, up 100%, fault tolerant. And these are some of the things that we leverage through the Juniper engagement with our core network. We implemented a homogenous core network across 8 capital cities in Australia. That's pretty much all of the capital cities in Australia. And that particularly, the homogenous aspect of the network gave us the ability for future automation, simplifying our network down to common architecture structures across the network was really critical to our future in terms of automation. And that automation in turn drives our customer experience even further. So eliminates errors, it eliminates design mismatches across the cities. So it's a really fantastic opportunity to clean the entire network out. We did it in a big bang. So we basically just rolled out the brand new network across every capital city. We cut across all of the intercapital network backbone links and all of the access links as well. So I'm really pleased. It was a relatively short project for a telecom. It took us about 6 months to implement, and we engaged Juniper Professional Services, and that was a really critical part of the project. Juniper Professional Services gave us world's best architectures and designs. They challenged our engineers, we challenged their engineers, and we really had a great outcome at the end of it. Like outcomes like an extra 9 on our availability target, having core network switchovers not even noticed by our customers. And it's a really sensational outcome from an uptime and performance perspective. But more importantly, it's a platform for the future of our products and services.
Wow, it's truly impressive. Short compressed timeline, which means high stakes, high pressure to get it right. Glad we could play a part in making you all successful.
Absolutely.
So let me actually double down a little bit on an item that you talked about, David, which is around automation. Obviously, you can upgrade the network from more reliability, more capacity, and that's hugely important. But talk a little bit more about how you're trying to focus on automation, what benefits that brings to your business, to your customers, and how Juniper has helped with that.
So over the past 12 months, we've focused on automating certain customer products. And as the core network rolled out, the next phase of the automation project is to really focus in on those transport products that support the rest of our product catalog. So we're focusing first on the core transport products. And the core transport product supports our SD-LAN Mist Wi-Fi solution. It supports our SD-WAN solution. It supports all of our UC and collaboration solutions as well. So getting the core transport right in terms of automation really sets our delivery teams and our customer activation teams up for success. So we're just digging into the design right now and getting focused in on the best outcomes and the quick wins as well.
And maybe, Mike, I might jump in there just very quickly, but really we've built a business on servicing customers. So the more I can get the majority of staff outward facing, looking at our customers and how to delight them, whilst not necessarily having to look after our own network 24 hours a day, even though of course we will, that automation, that self-healing networks, the ability to drive more productivity into our engineering teams, whilst not necessarily having to make sure all the lights are green all the time, just means that we can spend more time servicing our customers. And that partnership and that vision, that joint vision between Juniper and Macquarie about what you do and what we do well is really beginning to come to the fore with the type of work that we're doing together now.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So speaking of that, trying to deliver the great experiences for your customer, I know managed services are a big part of your business. David, you touched a little bit on Mist Wi-Fi and SD-LAN, which I know are some of the managed services that you offer. Maybe talk a little bit about the importance of managed services to your business, but also some of the interesting and forward-looking things you're doing around AI to support those managed services. Managed
services are critical to every part of our product catalog. Everything we do is managed. We service the mid-sized business market in Australia, and the mid-sized business market in Australia have smaller IT teams, and those IT teams want to focus on their business and their applications. They don't necessarily want to focus on the network and the plumbing. Our business is to make sure that the network supports their business, and keeping that network up, keeping it configured and optimized, that's a core part of the value that customers choose Macquarie for. One of the areas which we've grown over the last 6 months is that we've launched a SD-LAN product based on the Juniper Mist and Juniper switching environments, which has been a sensational change to the traditional telecom. The traditional telecoms tend to stop at the edge, the router edge. Getting into the LAN is also about customer experience. Having those user level metrics from the edge device, whether it's a phone or a laptop and a service, having those performance metrics all the way through to the cloud services we provide, it gives us the ability to provide that outstanding customer experience. We can find much quicker where the issues might be. We can leverage the Marvis Virtual Network Assistant to diagnose and solve problems before they occur. The AI operations capability, the AI-driven enterprise, has really given us the confidence to service our customers more, all the way from the client devices all the way through to the cloud. And it's a really exciting time. In terms of the product, we signed a large tire and auto company in Australia, and we're halfway through that rollout now. We signed that before we launched the product, and it's really exciting to see that roll out much faster than we would roll out even a WAN network. Our teams are rolling 5 or 6 sites a day, which is sensational. And that's all due to the capabilities that you've got there on zero-touch provisioning and the activation experience. For customers, it's a breath of fresh air.
Well, and I imagine as a challenger, you're generally walking into customers or prospects that have an incumbent provider potentially. And so how does that AI-driven solution help you differentiate and ideally break into competitive environment?
With the Mist solution and the visibility and the analytics, just a demonstration is enough to show the capabilities that we're capable of in terms of the end-to-end management. So giving customers the confidence that choosing Macquarie and choosing a Juniper Mist AI solution is a great solution for them. In fact, we've turned around a lot of Meraki networks quickly, leveraging this solution just by demonstration. So this is
to hear that.
Fantastic.
And David really touched on it. But as much as Juniper's helping us concentrate on what we do well, which is servicing customers, if you think about our customers that we're trying to sell to, they don't really want to worry about the Wi-Fi, or they don't really need or want to worry about whether their application is working well on the edge. They want somebody to take care of that. Especially for the mid-market here in Australia, we've got resource poor and time poor IT teams. And they're looking for partners like us that help them do what they do. So solutions like AI-driven Mist, looking at uptime in terms of the network performance. Essentially, the customer's looking for an application to run just as well at the cloud, all the way through the network and then to the edge. That's what they want a partner to do. And that's the reason why we think we've been very successful in the Australian market, taking it to the incumbents that really like to talk about their demarcation lines and what the customer's responsible for and what we're responsible for. We take a more holistic view of the performance of the applications that need to be driven over their networks.
What's the next big trend you're thinking about, or what's next for Macquarie? What should we look for over the coming year or two?
Look, David and I talk about this often because he's my chief product officer. So I'm always talking about what he's going to bring to market next. So I might pass to him, but we're really excited that in whatever we choose to do, whatever part of the competitive landscape we're going to choose to go and tackle next, Juniper is going to be a very important part of that journey for us. So David, what do you think's next?
Two big things for Macquarie Telecom in the next 12 months. And one's really centered around that customer experience. I think with the capability that we've got with the AI operations throughout the network, I think there's a step up on managed services that we can do. We do a great job of managed services, and I think we can actually lift the game again and change the market there. And I think the number one thing that we're looking to do is really enhance our security portfolio. We've got a good security portfolio. I'd love to focus in on security protection products that manage customer security, whether they're in the office at home, at the cafe, wherever that worker may be, having a fantastic security product which unifies all the security aspects regardless of location, I think is going to be critical to our business in the next 12 months. And it's the exciting part of what we're doing at Macquarie Telecom. Also, from a detect and respond capability, having a holistic security practice across the telecom group at Macquarie Telecom will certainly help customers manage their cybersecurity incidents. And in the mid-sized business market, they need our help. It's a crowded market, it's a confusing market, and Macquarie Telecoms can provide that clarity around what's required to manage your cybersecurity.
It's always remarkable how aligned our strategies are. I don't know why that is, but as you well know, our connected security strategy just acknowledges that there's no network and security. They're intertwined. You can't deliver a network that's not secure. So look forward to partnering with you on that next opportunity. Well, Luke, David, thank you so much for your time today. And more importantly, thanks for your partnership. As I said, we are kindred spirits in many ways. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you and to work with you and to help be a part of your success. So thank you.
Thanks,
Terrific, Mike. Thank you so much.